Hello, everyone. This is Elena Snell, founder of Teens in AI, kicking off our biggest campaign running in 25 countries around the world. So we are officially kicking this off, although some countries have already started their hackathons on Thursday and Friday. So we already have hackathons running in India, in Palestine, in Syria, in Romania, in Kazakhstan, in Fiji, in so many other countries. And I'm so excited that more than 2,000 young people across the world will be benefiting from this program and learning about how AI is transforming their lives, everyone's lives, and how they can be part of this very exciting opportunity to change the world for the better using technology like artificial intelligence and data science. And with me today, I have a really, really exciting guest from UNICEF, all the way from New York. I'm so excited. Lauren, you have woken up so early to be with us. So we have got Lauren Rumwell from UNICEF, and she's a gender advisor, a chief gender advisor at UNICEF, who spent many years really addressing the problem that we are desperately trying to address all collectively, which is diversity. And so, Lauren, thank you so much for coming and joining us today. Do you unmute yourself and say hi? And I would really love to welcome you here with us. Very grateful you're joining, and it's over to you, Lauren.
Thank you so much, Elena. What a pleasure it is to be here this morning, evening, afternoon with all of you. I'm really thrilled to hear about the hackathon experience and to join you with some opening remarks just to get things going. But before I do, I wanted to ask you if you wouldn't mind using your chat box and just telling me a little bit about, in one word, if you were to describe the state of the world today for girls, what word would you use? So if you can just type in your um, chat box, great. And I see some words coming in. Improving, challenging. Others want to type in a word that describes difficult. Yeah, I'll give you another few seconds. Opportunities, demanding, promising, empowering, open. Wow, it's wonderful to see such fantastic contributions so early on in the conversation. Teamwork. Please do keep typing those in because I'm monitoring them from here. And what I find so amazing about those contributions is that you've actually perfectly summed it up. Today, we are grappling with some of the largest challenges girls have ever faced in history. But at the same time, they also have unprecedented opportunities. And so this mix of both challenge and opportunity, as you've so rightly described in the chat, to be both optimistic and pessimistic is really here where we are. And I want to tell you a little bit about those challenges that girls around the world are facing, and also how we need to seize momentum, work together. I think someone used the word teamwork, and really create a new reality for girls, because that is the theme of International Women's Day, women and girls' participation and leadership. We know that nearly 1 billion girls today are ready to take on the future. More than half, 600 million, are adolescent girls, just like you, on the cusp of adulthood. They're ready to complete their education, enter the workforce, and help create the world you're dreaming of. Adolescent girls are our next generation of leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs. It's your right to learn, to be safe, and to reach your full potential. This past year has been extremely difficult for girls. Schools for more than 168 million children globally have been completely closed for almost a full year, reversing gains in education and gender equality. You know, whichever country I've worked in, and after the many studies I've been part of, there are two things that can really change gender equality in a country. The first is the presence of a women and girls movement, and the second is girls' education prevalence. So with these closures, We know that we're going to see a rise in domestic violence against girls and women as lockdown persists. And we know that pandemic poverty is pushing up rates of child marriage. If you watch the news on Monday, you'll see a new report from UNICEF arguing that child marriage is going to increase by 10 million. That could have been averted if COVID-19 hadn't happened. Schools are more than just places to learn. They're safe havens for many girls who face violence, discrimination, and heavy burdens of care at home. They're places where girls can get menstrual health supplies, access clean water, food, and most importantly, friends. They're the place that girls can reimagine the future. Cut off from these opportunities, we know that many girls face risks, such as never returning to school, even when schools reopen. After the Ebola crisis in West Africa, at UNICEF, we saw a surge in school dropouts by girls because of unwanted pregnancies, violence, and child marriage, exactly those risks I've just described. The gender digital divide is also heavily affecting girls in this crisis, especially girls with disabilities or migrant or refugee girls. Without access to tech, girls can't participate in online learning and face interruptions in their future pathways to work. We at UNICEF are committed to girl-focused investments and targeted efforts to reach out to the global diversity of girls, like all of you, as co-creators and leaders in your own right. We believe that girls should be front and center at driving solutions to the problems you face, increasing the pipeline of women leaders, entrepreneurs, and change makers for tomorrow. And this includes making sure more girls are inspired by and involved in the world of tech. So we've done a couple of research papers and we've read some research papers and we've talked to girls and we're running a lot of programs for girls in tech. And we have 3 ideas about that I want to talk about today about how girls can be more involved in the world of tech. The first is when creating digital solutions, ask girls what they want. Governments, IT companies, programmers, and development partners should be really engaging meaningfully with girls. We should be talking to you about how to design and deliver tech and digital solutions. We've been working with girls in Southeast Asia, for example, to design an app. You can download it for free on the Google Play Store, which is called Oki. And Oki provides girls with information about their periods in fun, creative, and positive ways. It's delivered straight into their hands through the tools they use every day, mobile phones. And I was part of the design when I was working in Indonesia, and girls were part of the reference group. They helped us to figure out what kind of language to use, what kind of pictures, how to use a gamified design and messaging, so that we were in tune with the culture and making it also fun for girls to use. And that app is now going to be replicated for millions of girls by being available for free and using all the safety guidelines that UNICEF has in place. And that's the second point. So after talking to girls about what they want and asking them what works for them in designing the tools, we need to pay attention to safety. Just like all of you today had to answer that question about not using the camera, protecting your identity. We know that this is because girls face risks online and offline to your safety, such as abusive comments or threats or bullying or stalking or sexual harassment or exploitation. Gaining insights into how girls understand and navigate safety and privacy online is an essential component of the co-creation process. So as girls become part of creating digital solutions, they need to be designed too for privacy and safety from the very beginning, informed by girls' realities. Many girls, for example, have to share a mobile phone or a computer with other family members or other adults that may not use the same privacy settings. The third idea, and what we really recommend, is connecting girls who are interested in tech to each other and to mentors, just like today. Girls do best when they have a supportive environment, including access to tech mentors and buddies. Caregivers and other adults, such as teachers who might be online today as well, welcome, play a really important role in shaping a girl's ability to access and use digital solutions. I come from South Africa, and there UNICEF is working with girls as a part of a program called Techno Girl, where we provide girls from disadvantaged communities with STEM skills and job shadowing opportunities from grades 9 to 12. So I know of a girl, Lerato, who participated in the program and was the first in her family to ever go to university after the program, where she's now studying information science and tech. And that experience was because she participated in Techno Girl. She met a female mentor who was working in tech, who gave her the confidence to help her apply for her studies. Now she says, nothing is going to stop me. As jobs become increasingly digitized, remote, and automated, digital skills will be critical for young people seeking employment. Girls cannot miss out on this. We need to urgently close the gender gaps when it comes to education, to skills, and then training. The need for women in tech is greater and more urgent than ever, and we need to start working on that early on. Currently, UNESCO, our fellow UN agency, estimates that women are around 4 times more likely than men to have advanced ICT skills, such as the ability to program computers. Recruiters for technology companies in Silicon Valley estimate that the applicant pool for technical jobs in AI is less than 1% female. Can you imagine that? With the world so online, only 1% of applications is female. This disparity is an unrecognized bias, and it's then replicated and built into algorithms and AI functioning across the world, resulting in tech that's built by males for males. This is why we need girls like you to get involved. I want to thank you for your energy, for joining me here today, for joining Teens in AI, and for blazing the trail ahead. We're behind you and with you on this journey. I thank you so much for having me here together with you. And I want to ask you now a couple of questions from my side so we can start a conversation together. So I'm going to type my next question into the chat. From your experience, what is the biggest challenge girls face in accessing a career in tech? I'd love to hear from you. What's the biggest challenge girls face? I've talked about a couple around the world, and I'd love to hear your own experience. Let me open up my chat here so I can see what you're saying. I love your one words, by the way. They were absolutely brilliant. No access to computer lessons. Digital skills, exactly. Discrimination. Do you mean discrimination that you can't access a computer equally? Or that online you're treated badly? The perception of girls in tech. Stereotypes about what's acceptable, that this isn't for girls. Discouragement from others. Support from your environment. This is where it's so important. I talked to you about the importance of peers linking to each other and having a global community of other young people just like you who are overcoming that discrimination and stereotypes, trying to create a different a world for themselves and for others. Confidence. Confidence is a huge one, and it's something that I struggle with all the time. And you know, there is research that shows that girls suffer a real dip in confidence, up to 30%, as they start heading into adolescence, as early as age 10. They're less likely to raise their hand in class than boys. They're less likely to share their opinions. They have to be asked because they don't think that what they're going to say is a good idea. So confidence is a really big one. And the best way to increase confidence is to really have each other's support and to link up to programs like this one. Peer pressure. Thank you for putting that. No inspiration in children's TV programs. Exactly. We don't see enough of girls in science and tech visually or in movies. And less family support for a career in tech as a woman. Oh, this is a beautiful one. Thank you for typing that. We need the confidence to dare fiercely. What an amazing chat and a group of young women here today. I feel so excited to be with you. Need more role models. So we're starting to turn now to solutions. I'd like to ask you to write again in the chat, What do you think is the most powerful thing governments can do to support girls in tech? How can we change those stereotypes, stop the discrimination, build confidence, and help girls realize they are capable and can dare fiercely? What are your ideas? What should governments be investing in right now? I want to give a shout out to Kate, who's part of the team here at Teens AI, who's helping to type the questions into the chat for me. Thank you, Kate. When girls start a company, support them. Yes, you know that we should have affirmative quotas, actually offering special grants to young women who start up companies and, yep, exactly, pop-ups. There should be a special selection process, yep, and criteria for this. Agree. More representation in the government itself. Yes, no country in the world has a 50% of parity in their parliament. Very few, but that is starting to change. We're really seeing that. And in a way, we talked about opportunity in the COVID-19 crisis. What we're seeing is people are starting to say that female leaders manage the crisis better. Jacinda in New Zealand, right? For example. And so there is a call increasingly by young people, by young female activists in particular, demanding more women leaders. Improved childcare system. Wow, what an amazing contribution. That's exactly what UNICEF we're putting as one of our top priorities for girls. We're talking about girls' education, number one, and their skills, including digital and STEM skills. The second is improved social protection, which means the crisis can actually push governments to invest in childcare for the first time, realizing that the load on women and girls has been disproportionate. Opening centers to improve IT skill sets. Excellent. Free courses for female students to encourage them. Yes, there should be more courses and more bursaries. The program that I talked about in South Africa, for example, really relies on scholarships. The placement and the training, and then investments by the government in scholarships for girls from disadvantaged communities. Affirmative action. Yes. More brochures showing that women can code as well, and girls can code. These are fantastic solutions. Thank you for that. You've all really captured this theme of International Women's Day of girls' leadership and participation in changing the world. Thank you for your really, really great suggestions, which I'm going to take with me and really share with my colleagues back at UNICEF, because they are fantastic ideas and very much in line with what we are advocating for at the global level. Thank you for being so engaged. Thank you for allowing me to share my ideas with you. It's really been wonderful. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Elena.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Lauren. That was absolutely amazing, and I absolutely enjoyed reading all of the ideas and suggestions. So everyone out there watching it on YouTube, I'm very grateful you have joined us here today and responded to Lauren. I want to invite some questions, and I want to see if anyone has got any questions for Lauren at all. So type those questions in YouTube. And we will be reading them here in the chat. And if you have any questions at all for Lauren, we're ready to take them now. So the first question is through, what are you most excited about at UNICEF right now, Lauren?
What I'm excited about is getting girls back to school. We are pushing hard. You may have seen, if you log onto our website, we have a very powerful photo exhibition at the United Nations Secretariat here in New York. So if you just go to www.unicef.org, you'll see a picture which shows thousands and thousands and thousands of empty desks and backpacks representing those 168 million children I talked about who haven't been able to go to school because schools have been closed. And we're saying that schools should open first and be the last to close because of all those risks that girls face. And we're pushing even harder for girls to be able to go back to school. And when they are at school, to be learning the right things, to be learning STEM, to be learning about coding, to have access to free programs, and to connect them with software and technology so that even the poorest girls, even girls with disabilities in a very, very remote village, can access the internet and learn the skills they need to succeed.
Fantastic. So we have another question, and this question invites you to give advice to the girls. And I would imagine this is probably in the context of this competition. What advice would you offer to the girls? So we have all girl events, particularly in Pakistan, in Syria, in Palestine, in so many other parts of the world. And the majority of the participants in this competition are girls. Is there any specific advice you could offer to them?
My advice is to keep doing what you're doing. There is such a close correlation between girls' activism and change. I talked about these two factors that really shift the needle on gender equality in countries to create more equal societies for everybody. And the first is more girls being educated, and the second is the presence of women and girls movements. So being active in your societies and community, connecting with each other on forums like this, hearing about what girls are doing to change things in their communities, even in a very small way, even just in your school or in your village, with your neighbor, to make the world a better place, is fundamental and can actually change the whole country's trajectory. I'm really excited. We have a new initiative, something called the Girls Resilience Fund. You can Google it. Where a group of young girls are working together to help steer where money goes in the COVID-19 crisis. And small grants are then given in turn to girls' groups to help their communities. And we've been working with girls in over 90 countries now to support that initiative. And that's the way, even the way we do aid is changing, so that girls are more in charge of deciding what the aid should be, where it should go, and to be delivering it themselves. So yes, my top advice is to keep connecting with other change makers in your community, to keep participating in forums like this, and to keep learning.
That's fantastic. I will definitely be sharing some more details about the Girls Resilience Fund. So I will Google it and share it with everyone. Is there an age gap? Can everyone apply? They have an incredible idea that will potentially change the world and their communities. Can everyone apply?
Yes. You have to go through a group. But yes, we'll make sure you get that. But really, by being part of this conversation, by being curious, by being excited, by being brave, daring to be fierce, as somebody wrote in the chat this morning, is what will help you blaze the way into a new career field. Let's change that 1% of girls in AI. Let's really change that number. And that's possible with confidence, with knowledge, and with each other.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Lauren, once again for joining us. This was hugely inspiring. I know there are some other questions. Okay, well, I'll take one last question before we let you go. That's okay. What is the number one thing that parents need to start or stop doing to support their girls? I'm taking this question because I'm a parent myself. And so I love that question. So what should we as parents need to start or stop doing to support our girls?
Thank you. Well, we have a range of parenting tips actually for parents right now during the COVID-19 crisis. And really, what we know girls need to succeed is a safe place at home where they can be themselves. School can be really tough. It can be competitive, there can be bullying. It can be also really tough to be stuck at home without school, doing remote schooling. Um, so parents and guardians can really provide a safe place for girls to be themselves, to tell them what's going on, to share their worries and their fears, to have a conversation, to have fun. And the second is really to provide that confidence, that belief in you. I talked about the importance of mentors, and there's no more important mentor than those first line parents and guardians in the home who can support girls by saying, by encouraging them to do hard subjects like science and mathematics, to support them in the difficult moments when those subjects really are hard at school, to support them to try new things that they may not feel confident about trying, like joining a new club in IT or applying for that scholarship. So daring to try new things, starting from small things like making a new friend on Snapchat, to really applying for a bursary to university. Those would be my top two.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Lauren, once again for tuning in from New York. So we will leave it at that, but I will be keeping you updated, and we are going to share the results of our chat and conversation with the girls. And we will be sending out a survey to all participants, across 25 countries around the world, to gauge their views on the three subjects that you've pointed out, so that we have more data and more insights, because I think those insights were so fantastic, and I want everyone to have an opportunity to voice their concerns and voice their solutions as to how we can all collectively support the girls. And that was really brilliant. I will stay in touch with you by email and keep you updated. We will be having daily webinars with the girls from around the world to really bring them together from other countries, to really connect girls in San Francisco, to girls in Canada, to girls in India. So it will be a fascinating exchange. I'll send you the details if you would like to join us and see how girls are interacting across other countries and boundaries. It would be really fantastic to have you. But thank you so much once again, Lauren. Thank you.
Thank you. It was such a pleasure. Thank you, everybody, and thank you for joining me in the conversation.
Fantastic. Well, everyone, thank you once again, and I will be seeing you back in Discord. I probably won't be coming to every single Discord channel, but as you know, I have already been in Palestine and in India, in Romania, in Pakistan virtually, and I know I will be in Tunisia virtually today as well. So if you, if you are there, I will be definitely coming to say hi to you, inspire you with my story and what Teens in AI is up to, and hopefully you will be following us on Twitter, on Instagram. Do you also subscribe to our podcast, and keep an eye on the content that we will be putting out there. Now that you have all become part of this hackathon, you're also part of a global community of change makers. We have already inspired more than 8,000 young people across the world, and you will be joining this incredible young force of girls and boys and other genders really on a mission to change the world. So welcome to this incredible campaign. We're all in it together. We're all here with one purpose: to drive change and to make change happen and turn this world into a better place. And using technology is really the best time and the best place to make that change happen. So I wish you all the luck in this program. I can't wait to see the projects that you are all developing, and the winners from each location will be presenting their projects on the 22nd of April, United Nations Girls in ICT Day. And I can't wait to show these projects to the judges from across the world as well. So good luck to you all on the journeys, and I will be in touch with all the organizers in all 25 locations and keeping an eye on what is really happening. So, but take this opportunity as a way to learn some new skills, meet one another, and really it's an opportunity for you to make a dent, change the world. It's positive tech activism that we want to see girls around the world tackling real problems that they are concerned about. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will be seeing you shortly. And don't forget to tune in on the 8th of March, back here on this channel at 6 p.m. GMT, where we will have UNICEF back here. We will also have a representative from MasterCard, from IQVIA, also with us here from Societe Generale as well. So really, really incredible women who have been driving change in their own companies, and they will be here to share some amazing advice with you. So don't miss that. So I'll see you back here on the 8th of March at 6 p.m. GMT. Do tune in. Bye.